Welcome to our presentation on Homeowners Association taxation. This presentation is focused on understanding the differences between Form 1120H and Form 1120, with special emphasis on the risk inherent in Form 1120. This Homeowners Association industry area of taxation is really confusing for a lot of people. It is far more complex than it looks like, and that's because this is the only entity in the entire universe of tax law that has the option of filing two different tax returns and making an annual election to do so. Form 1120H is designed specifically for homeowners associations and is a one-page form, but with a 30% tax rate. Form 1120 was designed for for-profit corporations, and so was not designed specifically for this industry, but it carries only a 15% tax rate. That's why it is so popular. The other reason that tax law is so confusing for this industry is that it's simply not codified. What that means is it simply doesn't exist in one place. Somebody who wants to practice in this area needs to have a great depth and breadth of tax knowledge to understand all of the possible code sections, treasury regulations, court cases, revenue rulings, and private letter rulings that could apply to an association. It's really helpful to try and visualize these things just to grasp the major concepts. The easiest way to look at this is to visualize your association as a square peg. Next, visualize Form 1120H as a square hole. It looks basically the same shape because Congress created this tax law specifically for your association. As you could guess, your association fits very nicely as your square peg into that square hole. It was made to do so. Contrast this with Form 1120. Remember, it was made for for-profit corporations. It wasn't made for a homeowners association. Your homeowners association loses its identity as a homeowners association and becomes simply a non-exempt membership organization subject to Internal Revenue Code Section 277 whenever it files Form 1120. Therefore, visualize Form 1120 as a round hole. Obviously, your square peg of an association doesn't fit into the round hole. The corners stick out, making it real hard to get it in there. The natural reaction for much of the industry, many associations and tax preparers, is to simply stretch the size of the hole, make it big enough that the square peg will fit into the round hole. You do this by either liberally interpreting tax law or in some cases just flat out ignoring it. Not a good approach, and as you can imagine, when you stretch it out, you create all that red area called tax exposure. That is the risk of Form 1120. Now that you've understood the basic concepts of these risks, please view our next presentation on reducing the risks of Form 1120, and we'll examine each of the four major risks that exist for this tax form.